You deserve to rest, even if you haven't done enough. I know that sentence might make your chest tighten. I know there's a voice in your mind that immediately protests. A voice that says, "But I didn't do enough today. I didn't earn rest. I wasted time. I wasn't productive. I didn't show up perfectly. I could have done more." And I know that voice feels like truth because you've been living with it for so long that it started to sound like your own. But that voice isn't your truth. It's a story you've inherited. It's a belief you were taught. It's a wound that keeps whispering, "You only get to rest once you've proven yourself." But listen closely, rest is not a reward. It is a right. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to trade in exhaustion for permission. You are allowed to rest simply because you exist. Because your body is asking for it. Because your soul is heavy. Because you've been carrying more than anyone knows. Because you are tired. Not because you've checked off every box. Not because you've pushed yourself to the point of collapse. Not because you've deserved it in someone else's eyes, but because you are human. You've been taught to believe that rest is indulgent, that it's lazy, that it's something you only get to do when everything is done. But everything is never done. There will always be something left. Some task, some message, some undone corner of your life. And if you keep waiting for the moment when you've done enough, you'll burn yourself out chasing a finish line that doesn't exist. So let's stop here. Right now. In this breath. And let me say it again, you deserve to rest, even if you haven't done enough. You deserve to close your eyes and not feel guilty. You deserve to put your phone down and not feel like you're falling behind. You deserve to exhale without needing a list of accomplishments to justify it. You deserve to sit in silence without proving your productivity. You deserve to put down the burden of being good enough, because you already are. I know that's hard to believe. Especially when everything around you screams the opposite. Especially when people celebrate hustle more than healing. When the world applauds burnout and calls it dedication. When success is measured in how much you can do, how fast, how often, how flawlessly. But I need you to know, your worth is not in your output. It never was. You are not a machine. You are not a project. You are not a never-ending task list. You are a soul. A soul that needs rest. A soul that needs stillness. A soul that deserves softness even on the days you feel like you've done nothing. Because doing nothing is something. Resting is something. Healing is something. Choosing to pause even when the world tells you to keep going is something. And it is sacred. It is brave. It is necessary. You don't need to be burnt out to rest. You don't need to be broken to deserve care. You don't need to be falling apart to slow down. You can simply decide, I'm tired. And that's enough. Because your body knows. It holds the truth. It carries the weight of every invisible effort. Every moment you didn't cry even though you wanted to. Every time you said I'm fine when you weren't. Every moment you stayed strong for someone else when you needed someone to hold you. Every time you showed up when no one else did. Your body remembers. And it needs rest. Not punishment. Not criticism. Not shame. Rest. So lay down the guilt. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. Guilt only grows in the absence of compassion. And you need compassion more than ever. You need someone, even if it's just your own voice, to say, "You've done enough. You've been enough. You are enough." And even if you didn't finish the project, even if you missed the deadline, even if you canceled plans, even if you forgot something, even if your house is a mess, even if your inbox is full, even if your best today looked like barely getting through it, you still deserve rest. You don't have to be extraordinary to be worthy of peace. You don't have to be impressive to earn gentleness. You don't have to be a constant achiever to allow yourself a quiet moment. You are enough even when you're still becoming, even when you're healing, even when you're in between. Let yourself pause. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself sink into the stillness and let it hold you. Not because you've been perfect, but because you've been human. And maybe you've internalized a different narrative. One that says your value lies in your usefulness. That rest is a privilege you have to earn. That your body's needs come last. That guilt is a necessary price for peace. But those are lies. Lies we learned from tired people who never knew how to rest. Lies we inherited from generations who survived more than they were meant to carry. Lies passed down by cultures that confuse burnout with success. But you are allowed to rewrite that story. You are allowed to choose a different rhythm. You are allowed to rest even when it's uncomfortable. Because healing doesn't always feel relaxing. Resting doesn't always feel peaceful, especially when you're not used to it. Especially when the guilt rises. Especially when the world keeps spinning. But you are allowed to be still. You are allowed to say, "I've done all I can for today." You are allowed to say, "My peace matters, even if no one else understands." So let it be quiet now. Let the world go on without you. Let the noise settle. Let the tension drop from your shoulders. Let your breath deepen. Let yourself unclench. Let yourself rest. Not because you've earned it, but because you're breathing. That's all it takes. You don't need to fix yourself first. You don't need to become more disciplined. You don't need to become the best version of yourself before you deserve softness. You deserve it now. In your mess. In your struggle. In your fatigue. In your humanity. Because you are enough as you are. And this moment, this breath, is allowed to be a sanctuary. You don't need permission. You don't need proof. You just need presence. So be here. Right here. Let the guilt rise and fall. Let the thoughts come and go. Let your mind wander and return. This is what rest looks like. Not empty. Not meaningless. Just real. Just human. You don't need to optimize this moment. You don't need to learn something from it. You don't need to make it productive. You can simply let it be. Because sometimes rest is the lesson. Sometimes rest is the healing. Sometimes rest is the resistance. And maybe this moment is the first one in a long time where you're finally hearing the truth beneath the noise, that you are allowed to stop. That you are allowed to pause. That you don't have to be constantly moving to be moving forward. Because rest is forward. Rest is growth. Rest is survival. Rest is sacred. So close your eyes if you can. Lay your head down if you need to. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts drift. Let the world wait for once. Because this moment is for you. And you deserve it. Not later. Not once you've earned it. Not once you've checked one more thing off the list. Now. Here. Exactly as you are. Let yourself rest.